Lick my shoe, lick it clean, and this dollar is yours. A whole dollar for a man like you. The words, sharp and cold as ice, cut through the quiet hum of the corporate lobby. Marcus Thorne, a man whose suit cost more than a month's rent, dangled a single crisp dollar bill between his manicured fingers. Before him, a man named Javier knelt on the polished marble, his old bones protesting, his eyes filled with a mixture of shame and desperate need. The manager's voice dripped with amusement. "Come on, it's an easy choice, a little dirt for a dollar." It was in that moment, as Javier's spirit was about to break, that a quiet janitor pushing a mop bucket stopped, and a fire ignited in his tired eyes. For the past month, he was just Sam, the 68-year-old janitor at Thorne Enterprises headquarters in downtown Chicago. His back ached, his hands were calloused, but his mind was sharp. No one paid any attention to him. He was invisible, a part of the furniture, and that was exactly how he wanted it. Sam was actually Robert Sterling Sr., the founder of this entire billion-dollar corporation. He had officially retired, leaving the company in the capable hands of his son, Robert Jr. But whispers had reached him, ugly rumors of a toxic work culture festering in some departments, of managers who ruled with fear instead of respect. So he donned a janitor's uniform to see the truth for himself. He learned a lot in that month. He saw which employees stayed late because they loved their work, and which ones stayed late to impress the bosses. He heard the gossip in the break rooms, the genuine friendships, and the bitter rivalries. And he learned all about Marcus Thorne. Marcus was a star performer on paper. His department consistently broke records, but he was also a tyrant. He was a man who saw people not as human beings, but as rungs on his personal ladder to success. Sam had seen him berate a young assistant until she cried and fire a loyal employee for a minor mistake. What he was witnessing now, however, was a new level of cruelty. Javier, the homeless man, had only come in to escape the biting Chicago wind for a moment. He hadn't asked for anything. He had just been sitting quietly in a forgotten corner, trying to warm himself. But Marcus saw him and saw an opportunity to entertain himself, to display his power in front of the receptionists and the few employees passing through the grand lobby. The air was thick with the smell of floor polish and Marcus's expensive cologne. The silence was broken only by the soft whir of the ventilation and the thumping of Sam's own heart. Sam pushed his mop bucket forward, the squeak of the wheels echoing loudly in the tense silence. He stopped a few feet away from the disgusting scene. "That's enough, son," Sam said, his voice calm but firm. It was the voice of a man used to being heard, even if it was covered by the weariness of age. Marcus turned slowly, an ugly sneer spreading across his face as he took in the janitor's simple uniform and worn-out shoes. "Excuse me? What did you say, old man?" he asked, his voice dripping with condescension. "I said, that's enough," Sam repeated, looking past Marcus and directly into Javier's eyes, trying to send a message of support. "Leave the man alone." Marcus let out a short, barking laugh. "You have a lot of nerve. Stick to your mop, Grandpa. This doesn't concern you. This is a lesson in economics." He turned back to Javier, his cruelty amplified by the janitor's intervention. "The offer is still on the table. Or perhaps the old man here wants to pay you instead. What's it going to be?" Sam knew he couldn't let this happen. He had built his company on a foundation of dignity and respect for every single person, from the boardroom to the mailroom. This act was a stain on everything he stood for. He walked forward, reached into the pocket of his worn trousers, and pulled out an old leather wallet. He opened it and took out a crisp $20 bill. He ignored Marcus completely, knelt down to Javier's level, and offered him the money. "Sir," Sam said softly, his voice full of a kindness that felt foreign in that lobby, "go get yourself a hot meal and a coffee. Please, you don't have to do anything for it." Javier stared at the money, then at Sam's face, his eyes welling up with tears. He couldn't believe it. He took the bill with a trembling hand and whispered, "Gracias, thank you." He slowly got to his feet, his gaze fixed on Sam. Then he shuffled quickly toward the exit, clutching the $20 as if it were a winning lottery ticket. Marcus Thorne watched the scene, his face turning a shade of crimson. He was furious. He had been publicly undermined by a janitor. His little power play was ruined. "Who do you think you are?" he hissed at Sam, his voice low and dangerous. "You just cost the company $20. I'm taking that out of your paycheck." Sam stood up straight, his back no longer looking tired, but strong. He met Marcus's enraged gaze without flinching. "You have no idea who I am?" Marcus snarled, stepping closer until he was invading Sam's personal space. Sam simply replied, his voice still quiet, but carrying an immense weight. "I think the problem is you have no idea who I am." This calm defiance infuriated Marcus even more. He felt his authority slipping away. "That's it," he shouted, pulling out his phone. "Security, get to the main lobby now. I want this old fool and that vagrant he invited in thrown out on the street." Two security guards, who had been watching awkwardly from their desk, started to walk over. They looked conflicted. They knew Marcus was a powerful manager, but they also saw what he had done. The lobby was beginning to fill with employees returning from lunch. A crowd was forming, whispering and staring, their phones discreetly pointed toward the unfolding drama. Marcus was enjoying the attention now. He was putting on a show. He wanted everyone to see what happened when a lowly janitor challenged him. "You're fired," he spat at Sam. "You hear me? Fired! Clean out your locker. I want you out of my building in 5 minutes." The guards reached Sam, their expressions apologetic. "Sir, you have to come with us," one of them said quietly. Sam just stood his ground, a strange calm settling over him. He knew this was the moment of truth. He had seen enough. The cancer in his company had a name, and its name was Marcus Thorne. Just as the guards were about to put their hands on Sam's arms, Marcus made another call. "Get me HR. I'm firing the janitor for insubordination. And call the Chicago PD. I want that homeless man arrested for trespassing. This is a private building." It seemed like it was over. Sam was about to be humiliated and thrown out of the company he had built from scratch. The crowd of employees murmured. Some looked away in shame. Others watched with morbid curiosity. Marcus crossed his arms, a triumphant smirk on his face. He had won. He had crushed the rebellion of a nameless, faceless old man. But then a sound cut through the tension, a sharp ding from the executive elevator. The polished steel doors slid open. A man in a tailored suit, looking panicked, rushed out. It was Robert Sterling, Jr., the CEO of Thorne Enterprises. He scanned the crowd, his eyes wide with worry. Then he saw the janitor flanked by 2 security guards. "Dad," he yelled, running over, "what's going on? I got your text." The lobby fell into a deafening silence. Every eye swiveled from the CEO to the old janitor. The word "Dad" hung in the air, electric and impossible. Marcus Thorne's smirk dissolved. His face went from red to a ghostly white in a heartbeat. The phone slipped from his hand and clattered onto the marble floor. Sam, the janitor, slowly reached up and took off his simple gray work cap, revealing a full head of distinguished silver hair. He straightened his back fully, and in an instant, the tired, stooped janitor vanished. In his place stood Robert Sterling Sr., a titan of industry, his eyes now blazing with an authority that no one could question. He looked at his son, then at the stunned crowd. "Junior," he said, his voice now booming with power, clear and strong, "we have a problem with our management." The reveal sent a shockwave through the lobby. Whispers turned into gasped realizations. This wasn't just a janitor. This was the legend himself, the man who started it all in a small garage 40 years ago. Robert Sr. took a step forward, and the crowd instinctively parted for him. He walked directly to Marcus, who was frozen in place, looking like he had seen a ghost. "You," Robert Sr. said, his voice low and cold, "you asked me who I was. I am the man who built this company on a single principle: respect. A principle you clearly find optional." He turned to the assembled employees. "For the last month, I have walked these halls with you. I have cleaned your offices. I have listened, and I have learned. I learned that we have brilliant, hard-working people here, and I learned that we have bullies in positions of power." His gaze snapped back to Marcus. The public dismantling was swift and brutal. "You judged a man by the dirt on his clothes, and you judged me by the uniform I wore. You see people as things to be used or discarded. You create a culture of fear, not of excellence. That is not the Thorne Enterprises way. That is not my way." He didn't just fire Marcus, he annihilated him. "Your employment here is terminated, effective immediately. The security you called can escort you out of the building." He then looked at the two guards. "But first, I believe Mr. Thorne mentioned calling the police." Robert Sr. pulled out his own phone. "I agree. Harassment and creating a hostile environment are serious matters. We will be cooperating with a full police investigation into your conduct, Mr. Thorne. We will also be launching a full forensic audit of your department's finances. Bullies often have more than one secret." Marcus didn't say a word. He couldn't. He was led away, a broken man, past the silent stares of the people he used to terrorize. The applause started with a single person, then grew into a roar that filled the entire lobby. Robert Sr. held up a hand for silence. His work wasn't done. He asked one of the receptionists to find Javier, who was found shivering just down the street. When Javier was brought back in, terrified, Robert Sr. walked right up to him and put a hand on his shoulder. "Javier," he said warmly, "I would like to offer you a job. We have a position in our mailroom if you'll take it. We'll also arrange for a warm apartment for you to stay in, and any help you need to get back on your feet." Tears streamed down Javier's face as he accepted, his voice choked with emotion. Robert Sr. then addressed the crowd one last time, promoting the junior employee Marcus had berated and commending the security guards for their humane hesitation. He made it clear that a new day had dawned at Thorne Enterprises. The lesson we learn from this is that a person's true worth is never written on their clothes or their job title. It's written in their actions, in how they treat those who they believe have nothing to offer them in return. It's a powerful reminder to always look beyond the surface, because you never truly know who you are talking to. Sometimes the most powerful person in the room is the one no one even notices. I hope this story touched your heart. If it did, please leave a like, comment with what you would have done in that situation, and subscribe for more real-life stories that matter. Until next time, take care of each other.